afternoon, folks. You already know what time it is. It is Friday. And we have another episode of the Lease of the Z podcast, number 11, with Daniel Fequiere, one of my great friends and fitness instructors, one of the people who's motivated me in my life for the last 3 years in my fitness journey. Please welcome him to the show today, Daniel Fequiere.
Yeah.
We need the crowd in the background. I love how we're such a hype team.
Right? You gotta be your own cheerleader. Nobody else will do it.
Yes. So how are you doing today, my friend?
I am doing awesome. Lisa, as always, thank you so much for your personality, for you being you. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show, share this opportunity with you. Like, I love what you're doing. I tell you this all the time, and I will never stop telling you. You're doing an amazing job. You're reaching a lot of people out there, and just keep doing what you're doing because it's awesome.
Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate that. Like, there's few people that like really have your back and support you no matter what. And it goes as little as just putting a like on a post. True. That means something, you know. True. Yeah. Especially when you put so much effort into making content and just, you know, taking the time. Like, it really takes me time to make sure right before I post it, I'm like, do I post it? Do I post it? Do I post it? Do I post it? And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then I let the universe go. I let the universe go with it. And if it gets good feedback, it does. If it doesn't, well, I'm going to just keep doing it because this is what I love to do. I love connecting with people. I love sharing people's stories like yours, which we were going to talk about, which is an amazing story. I saw the blog that Aziza did about you, and I felt so like, I was like, oh my God, this was such a good story. Aziza's such a great person too. She's shining too. She has her Instagram page and she's like thriving with all the reels and stuff like that. Really, it's really cute. Love it. But I love that. The thing is that like we all connected because of that one empowerment boot camp that we had. And this was an idea that we all sat down and like had conversations about.
No, don't be modest, Lisa. You thought of this. You brought it together. The moment you said it, I was like, yeah, I am down.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll get a little bit into that detail because we got to start from the beginning. Go back.
I understand. Kind of reel them in.
So, Daniel, what inspired you to start your fitness journey, fitness instructor, like boot camp, like lifestyle?
All right. I'll be more than happy to say, for those who may be watching who may not know who I am, my name is Daniel Fequiere. I'm the founder and CEO of Fequiere Fitness. What brought me on this journey was, I'm not gonna lie. It's like decades in the making. I always knew and I always had a passion for fitness. That was something that I did. And like, you know, I always put it in the hobby section. I was like, yeah, that's something that I do in a hobby, but like, you know, it's not a real career path. But like going through it, I just realized, because my wife always used to tell me, hey, you should do something in fitness. Because I would train people for free. People would be like, hey, they'll come up to me like, yo, you're always doing these things. What can I do for this? I would pour knowledge into them. And not only that, I would do my best as far as studying to learn more. And for me, it was just like, oh, you know, I just want to do this to help my body. But I didn't realize it was all in God's making, like, you know, kind of grooming me to where the path I was going to go. What really got me started with making Fequiere Fitness, this is back in 2017. I have a disease that's called lupus. That's where your autoimmune is like it attacks its own cell bodies. In most cases, it could be your joints, it could be your organs. In mine, it was my kidneys. And what ended up happening is in 2017, I had a relapse where my kidneys just stopped like functioning the way it was supposed to. And I had to go to the hospital and they're like, yeah, this is going on, like to the point where they're like, yeah, you might even have to do a kidney transplant because it's just going completely haywire. Thank God I didn't have to go that route, like glory to Jesus. But like while I was going back in the recovery, because my kidneys was unable to filter out things, I was retaining water. So the whole time they had me on IV, I gained 30 plus pounds of water weight. Like, no lie. I have the pictures to prove it for anybody who wants to see.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
Yeah, I literally gained 30 plus pounds of water weight. And even the nurse and the doctor's like, what is going on? Like, you just gained 10 pounds in one night. We're like, take us off the IV, man. This is like, it's affecting me more than it's helping me. And like, finally, when I got released from the hospital, it's like 14 days later, They just told me like, eat well, exercise and stuff like that. But they didn't really give me a manual, like a rule book. And the workouts that I did in the past, like my warm up would be like a 1 mile run. And of course, being an additional 30 plus pounds, I could barely even walk to the bathroom. So I was online just kind of like trying to search around and see like, okay, what kind of workouts for people who are going through a setback or illness, how can they get back into like peak performance? And looking online, there was nothing, like absolutely nothing for people like that. They were talking about warm-ups of burpees. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm having trouble getting in and out of bed. Burpees is the last thing on my mind.
Nobody likes burpees.
Right? So, like, let's be honest, even now I still hate burpees. But like in the midst of it, when I was like looking and like, doing these things, it was God who revealed it to me. He's like, hey, listen, that's what I'm going to have you to do. And I was like, oh, all right. So that's when I really started like, getting into it. I started like everything that I did to get me back into peak performance. I wrote it into a book. That's my first book, From Illness to Fitness. And like, I just kind of wrote everything down, like how I was able to get back, how I was able to lose the 30 pounds, and like all glory to God. Like ever since then, it was like a snowball effect. It just kept going and going. I built up the brand, I built up the company, I got the clients, and all glory to God. That's how Fequiere Fitness was born.
Honestly, I love this story every time you tell me it. I've seen the videos that you made and just your journey and the experience. And I also know people who have lupus beside you, and I've seen their struggle as well. Their weight gain, their drop, their weight gain, their drop, and just it's a very big struggle, not only on you, but the ones around you too, to have to witness you going through that. And because it was so weird how I even found you. Like, I think at that moment in my life, I was like at a low and just, trying to get myself out of this funk or kind of depressional state. And I was overweight and unhappy and just not in a place where I wanted to be. And I was about to be 30. So like that midlife crisis kind of ordeal was hitting me like, oh my God, I'm gonna be 30.
Real. Yeah, it's real.
I haven't done this. Like, at least let me work on me and what I see in the mirror and be happy with that person. And so I'm scrolling through Instagram, and then everybody knows everybody, and like, went to South Plantation High School, the Paladins. And and then I saw that you had like, you were doing this free fitness boot camp on Saturday. And I'm like, hey, I like to do 5Ks. I like to always like be involved, and like I am active. I just wasn't consistent. I didn't know a lot about nutrition and just overall good health. And so I was like, you know what? My family's has a very athletic background too. So it's easy for me to pick up, or I have that drive and that motivation not to give up, even as much as I'm tired, I won't give up until I'm done. And that's it. So I went to the boot camp, and it was very interesting. It was all over Central Park. It was all over the whole park. And I was struggling, carrying tires, running upstairs, running with dumbbells, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, oh no, this is what I signed up for. But you know what? The best part of it is that, number one, I went at my own pace. You didn't make me feel like there was obviously people way more advanced than me that were your regular clients. And here I am, a beginner. And honestly, you just kept encouraging me the whole time. Take it at your time, take it at your pace. And then, I did the whole boot camp. I finished it, and I was very proud of myself. I was sore for days after that. I could not get out of bed. I was like, I can't lift my arms. I can barely squat. It was crazy. But I was like, it got to me. And I was like, you know what? I was able to finish, and I was able to complete it. And then that brought me to the kickboxing martial arts. And then, you know that story. And you even encouraged me throughout that time too, because even if I wasn't working out with you regularly, you still encouraged my fitness journey. And that's why we have this great relationship. I thank you for everything that you constantly do for me, and like I'm very glad to have you in my life and on this podcast.
My pleasure. Honestly, Lisa, I gotta say, like, the thing that I loved about you and a lot of the clients that I have, even as far as for beginners, you can tell the people who really want it compared to the ones that are just kind of there. You were one of those who really wanted it. I have a lot of clients, you know, they'll excel, they'll do everything well, but I can tell they're only giving me like 75%. The one who like doesn't finish the whole thing, but yet I know they gave me 100% of everything, those are the ones I root for more. And in that case, it was you. Like, everyone's like, yeah, you know, I'll grab the tire, I'll run there, you know, trying to like, you know, kind of impress others. You were there, you really had like in mind, you had a drive, you had the ambition. You were doing this not for anybody, you were doing this for you. And that's what I love most about like people like you. And that's why I'm always there to kind of encourage, because I was in that situation where to others, it was just walking up and down the house. For me, that was like a life, like, you know, a life goal right there, was just making it there. So it's like when you see people in the same shoes, you want to do everything you can to help. Like, you know, you feel more compassionate towards that area. And that's what I love about you, is everything that you do, you give it 100%. So I'm always going to be rooting for you.
My gosh. It's like you're my big brother, honestly. Like you're my big brother.
That's what I'm here for.
And it's always great to have such a great support system. Yeah. So I ended up buying one of your tank tops with the Fequiere Fitness brand, and I love it. I do. I work out in it sometimes too. And then I got the free book. Can you explain to us a little bit about that? And I love it. I started reading the book and I started doing some of the exercises, and it gave me a lot of information as a woman that I was like, you know what, this makes sense why I struggle so hard. I'm doing the same workouts as guys, you know, and they're fit, they're big, I'm here like they're dropping weight, and I'm here like struggling, and I can't even drop a pound. And I'm like, no wonder why. Yeah. So can you explain to us a little bit about the book that you made specifically for women?
Of course. So Lisa's referring to, this is my second book. It's Ab Workout Book for Women. What actually all derived, what caused it to even become about is my wife. She and I would always like, you know, kind of work out together. And she hated the fact that like, you know, I can probably just do something minimal and I would start seeing definition results quickly. And she would do something 10 times more than me. And it would take her like a week just to start seeing that definition. And it was one of those things, it was like, why is this always happening? And I was like, you know what? That's true. Let me try and find out more about this. And like both her and I, we actually did studies trying to learn as far as the human anatomy in regards for women. And it's something that's called like your DHA levels. This is what produced as far as for women. All women have this because you guys are going to produce like milk for your children. This is like helping you as far as with the birthing process and stuff. And with that in mind, like you always are going to gain like an additional fat percentage than men would, because your belly will need to expand more. So it's in regards for this, there's certain workouts that are effective and there's certain workouts that are ineffective for women. So I learned as far as everything about that, and I put it all into just one book, just kind of concise it. So that way, anyone who's trying to look as far as to like losing weight, I put the science behind why it doesn't work when you do these different workouts and why the workouts that I put in are effective. So like, that's really what it all came about. And that's how I wrote it.
Honestly, you're on the great path right now. I know you just graduated. I saw the blog. You're on YouTube. You guys, I'm gonna post the links, everything to his YouTube. Thank you. I love the different world theme. Yes. I love that show growing up. Absolutely. I think I am a Whitley for sure. Yeah. For sure. But I love the experience, and you definitely went through a lot with Corona. Actually, coronavirus. Coronavirus was definitely a huge effect on the fitness industry in all types of platforms. Mm-hmm. And I know that you guys had to now come up with a new plan to try to figure out how you can still reach out and connect with your clients. Yeah. And be able to still live the healthy lifestyle and be the fitness trainer that you are. Tell us a little bit about that part of 2020.
Of course, like just like anyone else, when the whole pandemic started, it hit hard. It was one of those things that no one was prepared for. Everyone's like, okay, you know what? What's the next step? We were only hearing like this is going to be for 2 weeks that we're on lockdown. This is now turning to a month. This is now turning to a couple months. We're not quite sure. And it's still, even now to this day, we're still having issues with that. So it was one of those things where, I'm not going to lie, it hit my company hard as well. Because as you said, I do all of my training for the most part outdoors, boot camp outdoors. I feel that always working outdoors kind of helped in regards for kind of learning the body more and how to be able to maneuver through all type of weather, through all type of conditions. So that's what I grew up with, and that's something that I've always done. Once that hit, as far as the pandemic, everything shut down. Even the parks are like, yeah, so we can't have much people out here, so we're going to be shutting this down. So what I did was, thank God for my wife. She does right now her own business, and she does everything like online. So she helped me as far as transitioning so I can do everything virtually. So I did now, all of my boot camps are all virtual. Like, I send out the links to my clients, and from there they work out with me either one-on-one or in small groups, all virtually. And like during the process, I'm not gonna lie, it's weird because like for someone, especially as myself, who's always been outdoors working out, to now have to transition to virtually, it was a weird process, like trying to learn how to maneuver and work out Zoom, like the tech and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it took some time, but thank God throughout it, like, you know, thank God for my clients who were patient with it, who still were going and sticking through with it. Now it's something where like, this is now something that I prefer, to the point, like even when everything calms down, I'll still do outdoor trainings, but I'm still going to have the virtual like aspect of it as well, because it's easier. Honestly, people can work out from their home. They don't have to worry about, I have to get home, I have to change, I have to do this, and then I have to go to the gym and meet Danny. It's like, okay, I have to get home, change, have a few minutes to be able to eat, spend time with my kids, and I just click the link and I'm on and I'm working out with them. So
it's not a bad deal.
Right? It's not. It's really not. All from the comfort of your own home, you get a workout. And I feel truly like we're seeing with all the gyms right now, like a lot of them are kind of struggling with this. I feel this is probably going to be the way of the future, is as far as a lot of things will be now transitioned to virtual. They'll still have the gyms because a lot of people who want to go and work out there. But I think like the virtual aspect will probably be like the biggest wave, or the biggest new wave that's going to be coming through.
Yeah, I've done some virtual classes. It's not my favorite.
It's not. It takes getting used to. Trust me. Even for myself, I was like, all right, because I'm so used to kind of like, you know, making sure, like kind of positioning the body. I had to learn now how to be more vocal about it. So rather than like doing it, I'm like, all right, listen, when you're doing a plank, have your body in a straight line from your shoulders to your ankles. Try to make sure that your hip is elevated. And I'm loving it now because I'm learning more like the terms, or like the exercise terms. So it's helping me a lot.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It is.
I mean, the year 2020 was the year of challenge, is what I keep telling myself, and growth. Because even though there was so much negativity, I mean, a lot surrounding this world, basically, because the whole world was affected.
Yeah.
There's still people out there with a positive mindset to keep moving forward and keep encouraging and keep motivating. And so, you know, we're those people.
Yeah,
we're those people. Sometimes you gotta need the light of the earth, man.
I love that. I love your banner, by the way. That was really awesome.
It has been a process. It has been a process, and like, you know, there's days that I'm just like, oh, do I keep going? Is anybody paying attention to it? You know, do people like it? Do they not like it? You know?
Yeah.
But at first I started with my own logo. I drew it out in like a Word document, and that's how I created it, the first one. But I had the idea. I had this idea in my mind. It was like in a dream. I kept picturing it, and like, and the history of that logo is that's actually me too.
That's what's up.
That's characters me. It was a picture that we used during one of the fight camps. My old coach, he took the picture, and we were setting up, you know, for promotions for the fight coming up. And then, so I love that picture. It's one of my favorite, like, you know, fight position pictures.
It's fierce.
And then so when I was starting to come up with this podcast, I just kept picturing that picture in my mind. Like, I wanted to be cartoonist, you know, and have it look really, but I couldn't get the idea out of my mind and onto paper.
On the paper,
you know?
yeah.
Because I can't draw for anything. I can't. And so then finally my uncle, he's very tech savvy. He even got me a green screen. Like he's very on team podcast, Lisa with the Z podcast. And he got me a green screen. I haven't used it yet because I don't know how to. I will with time.
Yeah.
But eventually, you know, I wanted to have a different background too. And I mean, I'm in my room, you know, so this is this is my studio. /room
/ bedroom / everything. Nah, I totally understand. It's awesome though. Honestly, like it pops out so much that you don't even like notice anything else. Like that looks like you're in a studio right now. And that's a great picture.
I did 2 different graphic designers. I gave them the picture, the idea. One of them, I kind of gave them the idea of the words and just wanted them to freestyle it.
Yeah.
And then with this one, with the graphic designer I chose, I gave him that template of the picture of me. And I was like, hey, this is the name of the podcast. This is what I have in mind. Can you, you know, show me what you got? And then he came up with this and that was it. I was like, there was no way, because there was no way. I saw the other guy's work. It was really nice, but it wasn't what I had in my mind.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really great. Awesome. That's an awesome story. You should talk about that more often in those, because I feel like it's one that will touch a lot of people.
I remember when I showed it to my family and like my friend, like Barbara and everybody, because like they've been a part of this process. Like, what about this? What about that? I'm sending pictures and back and forth. They're like, no, the podcast was going to be named something different before. And it's just like, it's been months and months and months of just constant working on making it you know, this is my brand, this is my product. You know,
that's your baby. It's
my baby. I put a lot of work into this. People don't understand. I do a full 40 hours a week, plus I'm a mom, plus I do this podcast, you know. And I go work out too.
That's the icing on the cake.
Is there anything that you'd like to promote or thank anybody in regards to your just life and everything going on?
Of course. First and foremost, again, I got to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I always got to give a shout out. I have to thank my beautiful wife. She's always been there to help and support. I have to thank family and friends. I got to thank you, Lisa, for, again, just like how you talked about, like, you know, me, like, supporting you. It's the same thing in reverse. It's like vice versa. I always know that if I say, hey, Lisa, I'm thinking about doing this, you'd be like, yeah, I'm down. What time? Like, you know, and it's always beautiful to have like a corner, like a circle of friends like that who are always there to support you. A lot of times we have people in our circle who we know are wishing bad for us. The only reason why they're there, the only reason why they're there is because they want to see you fail and be able to tell other people firsthand how they saw you fail.
Oof.
Even Jesus
I felt that one.
Yeah, right? Because even Jesus had Judas in his corner. So it's like...
And he kissed him.
You got to know those ones who are real, and you got to make sure to stick close to them. So, like, you know, Lisa, you'll always be there in my corner. Like, one of those people, anything that's happening, I'll be more than happy to promote, help, do whatever I can. So I got to give a shout out to you. For the ones who are watching now who already know me, thank you guys for being there, warriors. And those who are just now getting to know me, become a part of the family, because, I mean, trust me, it's nothing but love on this side. And just to kind of promote, I do have, as far as like YouTube workouts. So for anyone who's trying to like reach some New Year's resolution this year, or even just trying to get in shape or maintain their shape, I have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Fequiere Fitness, youtube.com/Fequiere Fitness. On there, I give free workouts that you're able to do at home, at a gym, wherever you like. On there, just check it out. Because I mean, honestly, like how you said, I'm just here to see people win. Like, my passion is not like, you know, about the money. It's more about seeing people succeed. Like, just even the little things. If somebody tells me, hey, Danny, I just lost 5 pounds, that's more than them giving me $100. I'm like, yes, we see something happening. Results are happening. And that's really my passion, is seeing people win. So check it out. Let me know. DM me if you guys have any ideas or what you want me to do in the future, because I love that stuff.
Yeah. For some reason, I see you doing like more nutrition stuff too. I would love to see you cook like a nice meal, or like, you know, giving some instructions for like a good meal plan.
Yes,
I see that happening soon.
You're reading my mind, Lisa. Stop it.
I'm sorry. I'm a Libra.
No, but you're 100% right. That is coming down the pipeline. I'm going to be doing more vlogs about that, the nutrition, and as well, I'll be doing as far as hopefully in the near future, a book about nutrition and how to kind of help people to find alternative ways of not necessarily dieting, but eating a healthier lifestyle. So that's my route.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on my show. This means so much to me. This is going to be a great episode. I feel it. I feel it.
I feel it in my bones.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. Another Friday, another episode. Daniel Fequiere is such a warrior, and I look forward to seeing more of him and more episodes between both of us. And actually, you know what? You can tell us a little bit about what's your story, because I know season 2 is coming up.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. I keep forgetting. So I just started as far as last year in November through December, which we had the lovely Lisa part of it. It's called What's Your Story? What kind of helped that to all come about was when I told people my story as far as like my whole lifestyle, I saw how it made an impact on them, and I saw how it helped them, and it helped them to kind of talk about what they've been through in life and how that impacted me. And it was like, yo, you know what? Everybody has a story. It's not like, it's just one person who did this and that's it. No, there's so many people who go through things in life, and those things that they think they're going through privately, there's so many others going through that same situation. And just by you talking about it, you have no idea how it's affecting and impacting others. So like just knowing that, I always wanted to have people coming on, especially like you, Lisa, people who talk about their life story and be real about it. Because being real about it, like, yo, this is what I went through. Yes, this is what I what I affected. You have no idea that other person around the corner who never said a word to anyone in their family, but they can relate with you because they're going through that. And they're like, what can I do? What helps? So that's how I came about. I had guest speakers. Lisa, yours was amazing. I still get people talking about that one.
Yeah, really? Oh yes. My gosh.
Honestly, all jokes aside, because you have no idea how many like single mothers that are out there. And they're doing work like exactly what you said. They're just focused so much on their kids. They're focused on these things that they forget about themselves. And it's so important. In order to be able to not just help your kids for now, you have to take care of yourself, because your health is going to determine as far as how long your kids are able to see you and be a part of your life. So it has to go hand in hand. And it's like, that's one thing that I loved about yours, because the fact that how real you were about it. So on there, again, What's Your Story? That's season 1. It's now available on my YouTube channel. The season 1. Go and check out Lisa's on. I promise you it's going to impact you. Share with your friends, because it was amazing. And the new season 2, will be coming up in March. March will be season 2. And that one is going to be a lot of gems, I promise you, in store for that one as well.
I'm looking forward to them, because the last few episodes were really good, really informative.
Thank you.
I enjoyed being on there. I know you have some other great guests lined up for the next season. I'm definitely going to be tuned in for that for sure.
What? Of course. Thank you so much.
All right, Danny. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you soon. And this has been the Lisa with the Z podcast. We're out.
Yeah, we're out.